Welcome. Today we are going to talk about cyberbullying. My name is Abigail Morrison, and we are going to take a little bit of a deeper look into how it is affecting our students that we are teaching on a daily basis that we may not know are even being cyberbullied. So first off, let's go ahead and look at what cyberbullying is. So the definition of cyberbullying is bullying that takes place using electronic devices such as cell phones, computers, tablets, as well as communication tools that include social media sites, those text messages and group messages, and then some just basic websites. Again, cyberbullying has really flourished here these last couple of years. Bullying in general has been a term that has been broadly used within education, but then you add the online piece and it's a whole new ballgame here. So then let's look at why is it on the rise? Why are we seeing this now? So in our current day and age, the electronic technology uses has truly risen. Technology is everywhere. It is in the palm of our hands pretty much throughout the entire day. So then we look at our students, and our students are have cell phones, and this cyberbullying, it doesn't take much for them to get the idea of, I'm going to say this and let's see what happens. And then it could be an innocent thing that truly starts and becomes something, a bigger issue. So let's now look at the legislation side of things. Almost all of the school districts have specific information regarding cyberbullying within their handbooks. Now, as of January 2015, 49 out of 50, all but Montana, have enacted bully prevention laws within their board policies and their student handbooks. And these require policies that deal with bullying or electronic forms of harassment, which is also the term cyberbullying as what we are more aware of. So then cyberbullying falls under an existing criminal legislation. Here it can be associated with harassment, some stalking, um, felony assault, and then certain acts of hate. But the thing is cyberbullying, it is hard to determine when that behavior crosses that line and becomes something that should be addressed in the courtroom. That's some murky water there, and it's hard to justify when it can be handled outside of court and when it should be taking that one step further. So, when do we step in and intervene? This is a tricky little question we have here. Schools do have the authority to discipline students when the speech articulated or behavior committed off campus results in clear disruption of the school environment. So when that online bullying or that cyberbullying comes into play and we start seeing the negative impact of it start happening within the hallways, within those lunchrooms, that is when we as a school can step in, because we don't want that to negatively impact the target of the incident, the person being cyberbullied. When that starts happening within a school and we are starting to visibly see that, that is when we can step in. Now, threatening, or if it threatens or infringes on civil rights of others, that is another little line where a school can step in. Now, is a school going to step in immediately? Maybe. It's a tricky little thing that we have to really look at. Is it disrupting the overall environment of the school? Now, we always care about our students, and I do not mean that in a bad way, but off-campus things, that becomes troubled water there. So we do have the authority to discipline students, but it has to be disrupting the school environment overall. So then let's compare here. Cell phones are a big thing in schools. Now, elementary school, I see it happening in the upper grades. And so we look at this, and according to the U.S. Department of Education, here are two different scenarios. We have schools that allowed cell phones and schools that do not allow cell phones. And the schools that allow cell phones, 9.7% of those schools reported daily or weekly cyberbullying, while the schools that take them away, they are reporting a 16.4% of daily or weekly cyberbullying. So is that a little a little alarming, maybe a little bit confusing. You'd think with those kids having those phones in their hand all the time, man, I would have expected that to be flip-flopped. So that's just a little bit of a fun fact there and a little bit of data to show how those cell phones are impacting the schools along with cyberbullying. So moving on, when it comes to this, there's three main questions. Now these are my three main questions, but I want to break it down for you. So who are the targets of cyberbullying? First off, those young children, young adults. This kind of got me a little bit here, guys. 15% of girls ages 12 to 17 are getting bullied online. Now, according to some of the resources, girls are more likely to be the ones bullied or cyberbullied, excuse me, let me rephrase that. But they're also more likely to be the ones to do it to other people. Now, not saying that boys don't do it, it's just more common for girls to do it or be the ones getting it done to them. Now, 6% of the boys did report getting bullied online. And so keep going on to our targets. We have just the students in general. Then we have those special education students, those handicapped students. Sometimes those seem to be the ones that are also being targeted a little bit. And then the crazy thing is, guys, teachers, adults, it's happening to us as well. Cell phones can be a scary thing sometimes within the classroom. Videos happen really fast. So are teachers also being victims of this? Absolutely. So moving on, the next question I have here is, where is cyberbullying taking place? Now when we have to be honest with ourselves and we have to look at our phones too. Do we have Instagram? Do we have Facebook? Do we have Snapchat, YouTube, Twitter, WhatsApp? So looking at the highest rated social media thing or platform that had the highest rating of, or percent, excuse me, of cyberbullying was Instagram at a 42%. Facebook and Snapchat also followed right behind there. A little fun fact here that I found interesting is 95% of teens can access the internet on their phone. 95% of the students have the internet on their phone. So think that is they have that in their hands. They have those social media apps. They could do this very, very quickly. Not saying all of them do, but I'm just saying that it's at the touch of a fingertip here. And then the last question that I asked is, what are these targets? Why are these the targets? Why are they the ones getting cyberbullied? And why are they getting bullied? So according to the first site guide, the appearance, a person's appearance makes them a target, an academic achievement, race, sexuality, financial status, religion, and at 20% the other. So people are getting targeted on cyberbullying due to their appearance as being the main area. Now we can move on and look at the 10 forms of cyberbullying. It's happening, and there's many different types here. So the first one is exclusion. This is deliberately excluding someone from activities or someone from online activities. Harassment is intentionally bullying someone online. Outing is public humiliation of a child or a group without their consent. Cyber stalking is harassing victims through online communications. Each one of those platforms have a different method of communication. And I know that we have Facebook Messenger, Instagram Messenger, and then that Snapchat that automatically deletes. So we kind of got to watch that one. And then we have frapping, which is impersonating someone to post inappropriate content on their social media. And then fake profiles is hiding their real identity to bully someone else. Dissing is sending or posting cruel information about your child online. This can be very, very damaging. And this is one to really watch. And then trickery is gaining trust so secrets can be shared publicly online. Befriending someone so you can share information that maybe they told you. Trolling is deliberately provoking a response online. We often see this on Facebook. This is more or less you are saying something to make someone else feel a certain way. If that's angry, you're wanting them to comment back. And then catfishing is stealing identities and creating profiles. So we have those different types of forms. We know what each one of those forms is. So now looking at this, what is the effects on our students? What's going to happen? Are these long-term effects? So just a couple of them Depression, if you were constantly having to deal with cyberbullying in the palm of your hand, depression is going to set in. And then we have students now skipping school to just in general avoid it. Grades will start to slump. Their overall student health might turn for the worse. And then we might also have students that are not originally the ones doing the bullying start turning more to it just so they can fight back. And then we hate to say it, but those eating disorders, some of those girls that are getting cyberbullied on their looks, on their appearance, on their bodies, that's when we got to start worrying about, hey, what are they going to do to try to alter their appearance so this stops? And then the thing that none of us want to have our students, we never want to hear this, is we never want to see our students give up. We never want to see our students take the route of suicide or any type of endangering themselves due to the cyberbullying that could be occurring and we just aren't aware of it. So there's some effects that could happen with our students. So now, how do we help our students? So we know what cyberbullying is. We know who our targets are. We have some ways of the different forms. Now we've seen the effects. Now, how do we help our kids? So internet safety lessons. Teach those kids how to be safe on the internet. Teach them to report and collect that evidence. Everyone knows how to screenshot, record the screen, do everything you can to keep that evidence and then report it to someone. Tell a trusting adult. Report to the anonymous line that some schools have. And then it's important for us as staff to build those relationships with our students so they feel like they can come talk to us. And then one way, in the classroom, we don't encourage people to act like that, but then we try to teach them the confidence to be the person that stands up and says, hey, man, you're not cool doing that. Help their friends out. Stand up for the ones that it's happening for. Also, as teachers, we should know the effects of what and then look for them on our students. If we see those students turning for the worse, we should be asking questions and wondering, hey, is something going on? That's a part of building that relationship. And then, of course, at the end, know our board policies. What's your board's or what's your district's stance on bullying? What do they define as it? And really get to know how that works. So overall, we have learned what bullying is, how we can prevent it, the laws, what our discipline can entail with it, and then how we can help our students, and then some ways that we can really look for it and be proactive against cyberbullying. And then here are my references. Thank you.